if you give us too much shit, we'll just get pissed off and quit. So don't do it. It's time for Marvel Comics Spotlight Show, telling you everything that we know. It's time for Marvel Comics Spotlight Show. Let's go.
Let's go, Matt. Here we are. It is the Weird Science Marvel Comics podcast, episode something, legacy number something. I think it might be 114.
1776.
Something, yeah. Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing 2 books. And speaking of let's go, somebody left. Gray's done. He ended up getting a hold of me. He's like, I don't think I'll be talking any Marvel anymore. I was like, I actually thought, well, what did me and Matt say? Did we say something? Because that's what usually happens. And I said, oh, why? And he's like, because all the books suck. And it's depressing him. I'm just saying it at the beginning to let everybody know. This is not a joke. When we get on and say, like, we can't find books to read, especially when I go through this week's list, we get the review copies. So the play that they do, and I've mentioned this at points, they don't label them well. Like, you'll have books that are listed as XM328. And they're like, What the hell is this? So what happens when I get them, I go through from the beginning, from the top of the list, and I click through them. I expand them. What I have is usually it goes in these stupid readers that don't read PDFs very well. But when I do start, I'll just hit them just to look at the cover, and it will go to one of my browsers, is what ends up happening. But I'll look and I'll say, okay, there's that. And then I'll start getting an idea and I'll send them to you, and then we'll decide what we're going to do. This week is just the same as everything, except one exception, because I'm like, oh, Age of Revelation. Okay, we're not doing that. Okay, Age of Revelation. Not doing that. Oh, One World Under Doom tie. And I forgot that the Red Hulk. I'm like, that seems like such a joke now. The One World Under Doom, is anybody like, Marvel doesn't even care about it anymore.
That's tagged as a tie-in. Red Hulk.
Yeah, it's a One World Under Doom, and I'm like that. And it basically, I'm wondering if everybody else would have had the same kind of thing of, oh yeah, that's still going on. Like, that feels like it should have stopped a year ago. And I'm saying, like, in the stages where they were coming up with it, is what I'm saying. But just the idea that at this point, you end up having everything feeling like it's Age of Revelation. That I see another book, that's One World Under Doom. Then we're starting. I actually said to somebody today, oh, Gray stopped, doing the Marvel stuff. And I don't know, maybe me and Matt will follow, because it's getting to the point like the Star Wars books were when we just bailed. And I forget who it was, said, oh, you can't bail. There's another event coming up soon that looks cool. Oh,
yeah, the new one, yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I get the idea of there's events, but it has become almost like I'm telling you, it's almost it is ridiculous.
This X-Men event was a total momentum killer for everybody involved, because
it took over, and that's the thing
half
too.
The books.
You can say that, well, it didn't affect but the problem is, of the 20 books coming out, there's still 18 are involved. So when we go through to see what we're doing, there's nothing to do because we're not reading that. And, Jason and Ruben can only do so much.
Well, they're doing a lot over there.
Besides recording awfully and pissing me off. The funny thing is, again, now, if you're listening to this, and I talked about this at one point before, but the idea that there was an episode missing, and it's because the audio was bad. So what you ended up, me and you were doing it, you heard what was going on as I'm going through it. We were kind of discussing. So here's the thing. Did I tell you what Ruben said to me? It's hilarious.
No, what did he say?
Because you heard the...
I heard. I can't forget it.
So, and to explain to people, Ruben and Jason on the X-Men podcast, they recorded, but Ruben's track, there's 2 tracks. Each person has their own. Ruben's track had such a bleed through of Jason that Jason was just as loud that I couldn't use
Jason's track.
I couldn't fix Ruben's track to then work with Jason's. The only thing I could do is use Ruben's track with Jason bleeding in.
So Jason sounded like crap.
So Jason sounded like complete shit. Like it sounds like Jason screwed the pooch. So Ruben gets up because I put on the thing, not even thinking, like, hey, everybody, the deal, it sounds like crap, but I did my best. It sounded okay. It wasn't good, but the idea was Jason sounded terrible. Ruben gets a hold of me and says, hey, I don't mind taking the blame for Jason. I was like,
no, buddy, it's the opposite.
Oh, and I tried to explain to him. It is weird because then people were giving Jason crap. But it was because I had to use Ruben's whole track by itself. Oh, my God.
I don't even think Jason knows that episode was Patreon only last week.
Well, he hadn't listened to it at one point, and I know he does listen at points. So I said, hey, did you listen to the thing? I mean, you sound like shit, and it's not your fault. It really isn't. I should have maybe put out a snippet of Jason's track alone because it sounds perfect. His track.
I listened to it. I think you did a good job making it.
But it was.
It was pretty bad. You salvaged it.
Well, and the thing is, you came up with the suggestion of doing it that way, or else I was ditching it. I didn't even think, well, I'll just mess with Ruben's thing. But when Ruben, it was because he has a new system and he's set up. So then he gets a hold of me and he does. He's like, I did a practice run, but the practice run's only with him. So I said, that's not the issue. But it sounded good. Actually sounded better, his little practice thing, because he got a new computer. He's got a preamp or something. He's talking. I'm like, that's fancy for me. Yeah. But hopefully it sounds better. And the new podcast and things like that's up now. But there was an episode that was just Patreon only because I would not put it out and have it sound that bad. But here we are. I just wanted to get that off my chest again. I thought you would think it's funny. I forgot to tell you that Ruben says, I won't take the blame for Jason sounding so shitty. I'm like, I think he will. He didn't quite get what Ruben done. And then he felt bad. But yeah. So, but he's got a new system. And then he also said, because one of the things that I've realized with the system that we go through, because they use the same one, that it's not great to have gain on your audio. And again, it's not like we're doing, books on tape or anything like that. Mm-hmm. We're not doing audio professional thing. And when you put the gain, it gets a little wonky. Sometimes it gets a little overboard.
Keep it down.
So Ruben goes, I have the gain on 50 or something. He goes, he goes, I know you don't like the gain, but I'm like, yeah, I don't, but it's fine. It is fine. We'll see. This week, it sounded okay because he was at work. When he's at work, it sounds good. It's when he's at home is the problem. Yeah. Also, I think he might sit on a whole pile of water bottles when he's at home. That's what it sounds like.
They need to get him a new chair wherever he is.
Yeah, really. So here we are, though. Hopefully the call or the audio sounds good so you can hear us not like more and more. I said to somebody today as well that I do feel bad that we want to like this. We say it all the time. It's like we're running scared. But we pick a couple books, then we read them. Sometimes they're so bad that we ditch them then. But we're at the point now, we got to just do what we do because we even skipped. You skipped out a couple weeks ago. It's like there's not a lot of books right now for us to do.
Well, it's interesting because there's a Predator Badlands #1. I'm like, that might be cool. Oh, it's a movie tie-in.
Yeah, it's a prequel.
Yeah,
the art's pretty. It's kind of good. I paged through it. It has a weird extra paneling. It's extra thick panels, and I don't know if they did that to make it cinematic. I don't know.
Huh.
I don't love Predator stuff, but I did send that to Zach to see what he thought, and he just said, he said it's a basic bitch tie-in deal. Mm-hmm. Maybe that should have been Ralph Macchio. But we'll do this. And the only other thing that I thought we could have covered, which looks great, is that Spider-Man Wolverine came out. With the Kari Andrews art, but that story's that's wacky too. But maybe we'll get back to it because I don't think we're going to do more of the 1776.
It's ongoing, so yeah, why not?
Right?
No.
Whew, we're going to start with that. Even that when it came out, I'm reading some 1770. Why is it coming out now? But here we go.
Wait 1 year to put it out.
1776. Night Calls. This one is. It's issue #1. J. Michael Straczynski. Pencils by Sean Damian Hill and Ron Lim. There is a big difference between these two artists. And I will just say, to not throw shade, Ron Lim, pretty good. I'll throw shade. Sean Damian Hill, they're legit that before we started, we went through this issue, and it was basically you saying, look at the panel on the top of page 6. And then I'm like, no. You look at the panel at the bottom of page 9. And we just were laughing because it's bad. It's really bad. You also have inkers Jay Leiston and Roberto Poggi, and you have colors Alex Sinclair, letters VC Joe Caramagna. I was just going to say that the idea that there's this many people involved in this book stakes, because I don't know. I kind of was intrigued. I thought, man, this will be kind of cool when you get into it. If you are reading other things, especially indie stuff, especially Ghost Machine stuff, you're going to have the same reaction that me and you both thought. We both thought, oh, this is just trying to be Redcoat or something, because it does have that look at first. Then it completely, it's off.
Yeah, Redcoat's a 10. This is a 1. I mean, it's just there's.
Speaking of which, just to let everybody know, issue of Redcoat this week. Oh my God, it's so good.
I got to get that.
Can we go and do that right now? Me and Zach are probably going to do it tomorrow. I told him, I said, you may actually cry when you read it. It's good.
Nice.
Real good. It's a time jump in it. So, but if you're reading, I won't spoil anything.
I will.
But it's really, really good. Return of some characters, some really cool things. But in this, you're playing an alternate history type deal. But I think J. Michael Straczynski gets lost in the mix here of what's interesting, what's well known, and what matters. It just ends up where if you're going to do, this sort of thing, you should be centering on some stuff and kind of going, maybe even working through, say, a George Washington or things like that. But this is such a weird play where it's Benjamin Franklin dealing with a cult and talking about losing the war already and going. And I'm like, I lost track of what was going, because it starts off even in 1778, where you have Benjamin Franklin saying, oh, I lost all my friends, George Washington, all these people are dead. And now he's got to change it where he gets involved in pretty much time travel by the Cagliostro and the idea of being dead and half dead. I'm like, I lost track of anything that was, I'm telling you, I was not even just confused, but I was bored because of the things going on. I'm like, okay, well, where's the hook?
It was like Ghost Ben Franklin or something.
Yeah.
He's dead, but not
Ghost
dead.
Ben, because that's the travel in the future then to tell Doctor Strange you have to change things. But I'm like, this isn't, did you get, when Ben Franklin's there at 1778, and he legit says, oh, I wish that I could talk to my lost friends, but it's such a side thing that I don't know that everybody got it. And so the stakes are weird. They're like, oh, we already lost, but now you got to change it. But it was very weird the way it was. It wasn't spelled out very well. And Ben Franklin's there. He looks okay at points.
He's Ben Franklin-ish.
Yeah, sometimes he just
got the glasses on.
It's weird too, though. Like his look changes when he's there. Like I'm looking at this one page, and it's there where he ends up where right before the kind of full page in the upper right side of the way, he looks like just some fat dude.
He looks like to me
looking at the Grateful Dead.
He looks like Eugene from The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
that's what he looks like to me.
Yeah. Then he looks a little more like Ben, but then he's fat. It's. I'll say, if you're going to be nice about this, I think that the idea that the art is very inconsistent, that would probably be the nice way.
That'd be a nice way of putting it.
I will also say it a different way is a lot of times it looks like complete shit. And
it's very bad.
It's very bad. Winona Judd makes an appearance, we said at one point. But yeah, Ben gets kind of ripped out, his soul, these things. But again, this is like, it happens so quickly without really knowing what's happened. And then it's Ghost Ben Franklin who ends up, and I love the idea that Doctor Strange sees the ghost of Ben Franklin. He's more concerned of how the guy got through his front door.
Mm-hmm.
And even then...
I'm a friend. I'm allowed in.
Hey, he's like, I'm not an enemy. I can get in, and I'm not alive in your time, so I'm not
That's
a threat.
The rule? Those are the rules to get in there?
He's mad. I want bats to come out and start humping his leg.
He said your life is forfeit.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange was going to kill him. A founding father.
And says, I'll surely be dead in my own time. Then speak quick. Like, he's a real dick, right? So he says, I have a story to tell, and Cagliostro tells me that you are the only person who could... you're already wasting time. Get it out, right?
Yeah.
And so they end up where he says, now, we shall find out if that is true. I'm like, just spell it. So then we don't get the story, but immediately it seems that Doctor Strange is doing, and it's his classic portals, right? But in that, it seems like everybody thinks it's like a toilet flusher to hell. Like, they're not even like, oh my God, Doctor Strange wants to see me. They're like, oh no, what's happening? Oh no! And they get sucked in. And it's weird. Peter's chasing, Spider-Man Peter, he's chasing this guy who's hot radding around. Felt weird. Yeah. And then he gets sucked in this portal, but it felt like he could easily have avoided it, but didn't.
What did Cap do then? He's reading a book. Then he just goes into it?
Yeah, he's there. Cap's there with his uniform.
He's like, I'm just going to walk through this portal.
Yeah, he's like, oh. Then you get what almost, first off, that Bruce Banner in this, his look is wacky.
I didn't even know who it was at first.
Is he just jogging in Central Park, and then that boom, and he runs into it, but it looks like he's running into it. Then one comes up with Tony, and Tony's like, nope, I got things I expect, flowers, chocolate. I'm like, this book, and J. Michael Jordan, it's not written well either. It's really basic. You said it's the basic team, but to just set the setup and the dialogue is so off in my mind. And he's there. I mean, Doctor Strange, a portal comes in. It's not like Doctor Strange does this a lot, right? It's not like every 2 seconds he's getting a portal for nothing. Yeah. The guy who cried portal. So you see this and you should expect shit's gone wrong. Oh my God, what's going on? And Tony just puts his hand up and goes, no, no, and no. I have things to do. I expect flowers and chocolate, or at least an invitation to whatever this party is. I don't like to be pushed, so I'm not going. I'm not. And then goes in.
You get sucked in there.
I'm like, what happened?
It's got a vacuum on it.
Yeah, it's so odd. And isn't that, it's like, didn't sound like Tony. Also, by the way, Tony is just in a room, but he's hovering 2 feet above the ground.
I don't think his suit works like that, but maybe it does.
I think he's setting fire to everything.
He's burning
in
the
lab.
floor and the computers.
I don't know what this thing. And also, again, bad art is hit. At this point. And so you can't even tell who's who. And
it's not the best effort for Ron Lim by any means either. I mean, it's bad.
But you have computers, which I swear to God, at first I thought price tags were on them. I didn't know what was happening.
I guess that's glare, maybe?
I don't know.
Windows on it?
Yeah, I thought it was a weird way of having almost like the Minority Report, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, they look like Post-it notes floating around.
Just floating around. I thought they were price tags. I thought it was like a yard sale.
Yeah, price tags.
And then, Doctor Strange goes, I guess you're wondering why you're here. And then we just go off to 1777, back where it's Morgan Le Fay who comes in. I mean, maybe at first she could address a little better, but she comes in and just makes everybody float around and, just bashes through them to go in. Now, again, we're going to play this idea of who is she going to go to, because she wants to change world. She wants to change the Revolutionary War. She wants to get the British to win. So she goes in. So I guess this is one of the things where I know some history and things like that, but maybe this alternate history, American Revolution stuff, may be beyond me, because when they go in and we're going to deal with Gentleman Johnny, I'm like, all right. It doesn't go with the idea of, I have to see General, Lee, or if it was World War II or something with the Revolutionary War, when they called you Gentleman Johnny, and I'm going to deal with you. And he's like, I don't believe what's going on. Now, first off, you have the hot lady there who is dressed in the most crazy attire, and he's just like, I don't know who you are.
She's not wearing any underwear or anything.
No.
Or shoes or socks.
Or that, and also she doesn't skip leg day.
No.
So he's like, I'm tiring with what's going on. And then she's like, I'm tiring with you asking me questions. I'm Morgan Le Fay, Queen of Shadows, Lady of Avalon, Steward of Merlin, half-sister Arthur Pendragon. I've come here to save your life, your title, your position, and your war. But he doesn't believe her. I'm like, I don't know. She just
I might believe
people
her.
in the air and stuff like that. I'd believe her. And also, she's got chains that are floating around and stuff. I might want to listen. But in the meantime, you end up where it's Doctor Strange telling this story. And boy, everybody here, I don't know what happened, but I think their face, everybody's head was put in a vice. It's now squished. Banner, I don't even know who that guy is. Look at Tony.
Tony looks like he has one of those neck stretching things
that's
tribes wear.
It's like so odd. And Banner throughout this, I don't know. He looks like, I don't know. Like at points, even his glasses aren't even symmetrical.
Just be the Hulk or don't be in here. I don't need Banner.
Look at the page where Tony says, well, I defeated her. They're talking about Morgan Le Fay. Then they're talking about Jack Russell. They're talking all that. And he goes, well, I defeated her. I don't know if I repelled her. And he talks about the idea. And there was that cool story when he goes back to Camelot and does it. Bruce is there. I know a lazy eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lazy glasses.
Yep.
But one part of the glasses is smaller.
It's not even a perspective thing because you're looking at him straight on.
It's straight up. And the one part of his glass is so much smaller. It looks
he's got a lazy lens.
He does. He went to the lens crafter and he couldn't decide if he wanted the thick lenses. It's so weird looking. And it makes him look odd. Also, the one eye's smaller. It's so bad. And so they're talking about it and then they start arguing. And I'll tell you with this too, you said perspective, which is good to point out. I don't think this guy understands how to draw when somebody turns their head. It looks that bad. When Cap is there, he's like turning his head, but the perspective is so off. It looks like it's flat. And a lot of people in this book look like their heads were smushed.
Yeah.
Then by the bottom, he's like, by making sure, that the British don't win. He looks okay there. But the big play is they have word from Ghost Benjamin Franklin. May or may not have been nude. He should have been. And that guy liked to go around nude. Also liked to fart a lot. But in that is like, we've been warned of this, and the British, she's going to let the British win. So the American will lose the Revolutionary War. In the meantime, you're jumping back and forth, and I think that the jumping was kind of ridiculous. But when we go back to Gentleman Johnny and Morgan Le Fay, first off, shit has gone wrong. I mean, I think that maybe a bushel of ugly sticks came in and hit both of these two. I can't. Morgan, anything I say is going to sound hateful, but holy moly.
I mean, it's an accurate representation of what you're saying. So.
We said it looked like Winona Judd.
Yeah,
I don't want to shame Winona Judd, but Morgan Le Fay earlier was a little better than that. But she ends up like, her face is flattened. She looks crazy. Gentleman Johnny looks odd. I do believe at first it looked like maybe they were the same height, but now everything's
Look at
off.
Gentleman Johnny's face in the bottom panel.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
I don't know. Well, now they're like on Everest. I think I don't know. It looks
How
terrible.
would you turn that in? Like that would.
I don't know. Even then, it's like he drops his gun, but it's one hand looks like a club. Yeah, I don't know how you could turn it. It's that bad. Like I would look at
cool,
this. I guess it's like one of those where the first thing you'd say is, "How much time do you take on this?" And I was like, "I took all month."
Hey, I get paid by page. Doesn't matter what it looks like.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, I guess we're stuck with it. You can't. I mean, you go back and have the guy do it again. It's going to look like this.
In the old days, they used to erase people's stuff and draw over it.
Yeah, this would have been like they. What you do first, you get on the phone and like, Ron, why the hell couldn't you do this whole issue?
Yeah. What was the problem,
terrible.
Ron? We shouldn't hold it off until you're ready.
Boy, this is bad. Yeah, we have a lot of time. It's a 1776 book.
There's no rush on this.
No. So then we go back to the Sanctum Sanctorum, and again, it's a little better until you get Banner. Then his hand is... When you actually... Here's the thing. When you have a hand on a page and you legit see it, but still have to count the fingers because somehow it doesn't compute with this hand. For me, I'm like, oh, that is bad. And he looks just awful. Throughout all this, too, I swear to God, Spider-Man's been in like 3 panels, and one of them, he looks completely ridiculous. When they're all standing around a page earlier, he like looks like he should get a sandwich. He looks famished. Then you just see his face, and it just looks bad. But that face looks okay. One point he's thinking, looks okay. But Banner looks terrible. And then they just start debating. And Banner says, hey, I'm just playing devil's advocate. But is he? And he says, I don't know. Maybe we should let the British win. Because, boy, this America's a bunch of bullshit. Like, it's a weird thing where he says, we're doing a lot of effort here. maybe we should just and they start going through things of like, well, the British got rid of slavery before us, but also the British didn't have what we had. I'm not defending anything, the same, yeah. But there's really not a lot of cotton fields in Britain, and that was one of the bigger things. Also, it was just a different play. But the idea of this is you're probably, and they even say, Spider-Man goes, and I love how he's deep thinking, goes, if we change this, I don't know if you'll exist. And he's like, well, I'll take that chance.
I can tell you right now, if you change that, nobody exists. No, it's totally different.
But there's also not the idea of Avengers. There's also not the idea of maybe New York City. Everything would be changed.
All it takes for you to be different is just one different sperm.
Yeah, I love the idea that they think it's like, Spider-Man's like, I'm not going with this New Amsterdam bullshit. Like, I like New York City, so screw that. But it's a weird conversation to pop up in this book for them to say, where you just think the Avengers know that everybody they know and love, also legit, whether or not you think it turned out, whatever, that's what happened. And they're usually on that side of, we got to stop this because that's what it is. And here we are in Cap's. At least Cap's like, Cap actually doesn't say much, but he's like, I can't believe you think this is a
He's like, idea. I'm Captain America, dude. That's what I would say. I mean,
like, there's already a Cap in Britain. It ain't me.
And it's all a bunch of nonsense, that character.
He's like, I don't need, that. That'd be funny if Cap's like, listen, if you think that's a good idea, next thing you're going to tell me that Captain Britain's a woman. They're like, oh, nobody told them. That'd be great.
Betsy Britton.
But he's there and he's just like, that's the thing. I mean, in all, he should just say, hey, guys, Captain America.
Yeah.
Like, let's get going here. And they're like, oh, Canada and Australia. It worked out for them later. Like,
one's a penal colony.
I saw some people really, really getting upset about this. I'm not that upset about it because it's so ridiculous. And
I like alt history stuff, so I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I do too. But again, the alt history usually is he's trying to get back to the.
It's usually trying to.
Next thing, Banner in the next deal, he's going to be like, I don't know, maybe the Germans should have won. And they're like, what is this guy's deal? But in the meantime, they're going to go back and stop it. So they're like, okay, we got to do it. Here's her plan. And then you do see that Morgan Le Fay has to, Gentleman Johnny. Now look at Gentleman Johnny's now turned into a 110-year-old Asian guy when he's up there on the mountaintop. And then she's going to give him the plan. Here's the plan, but they're still on top of the mountain. He's like, can't we do this elsewhere? And then he's like, oh, there. And the whole plan is we'll just have the separate colonies remain and they'll just fight like Europe. They'll just always be at each other's throats and they'll be easily to take care of. One of the things Dr. Strange comes in, I think it's Dr. Strange, who says eventually, listen, you can talk all you want, but the Americans will just come back later to try to fight. More people will die and more of this. So they just agree. Okay. So they start to, I'm telling you, some of these things, and they're like, the time tunnel. I'm like, they may. I don't know what you're talking, but the time tunnel can only be kept open by him on the one side. So he can't go through. And that's what Clea gets involved with to go. I'm like, okay, we're dealing with a lot of things in this that I think aren't very exciting. And then they're just going to go through the time tunnel. So they end up going, and then they're like, okay, let's go. We got to do this. And at one point, they even at the thing, Dr. Strange says, okay, you're going to have to go in this room. Don't look around. Avert your eyes. Don't look around. They go in the room, start looking.
Look at those assholes all looking around.
I'm telling you, that's all they do. Even then, the idea of this, I thought it was going to be like they go in and on the side there's a demon in the cage. You got this. There's no way to not see the shit that you go through. The Cap goes, eyes front, soldier. Here we go. Like, looking forward, you see this stuff. And really, it's like,
he's staring at Clea's ass.
That's what Doctor Strange really didn't want people to look at. And in this, obviously, this seems to be like a weird continuity type thing. He doesn't mention that it's his wife. And
I don't. It's none of that continuity. No.
Yeah, it seems.
This is just classic stuff.
Yep, it's just classic. And I thought, like, oh man, he's dissing her. So eyes front. It is funny. Like he is staring at her ass, and then Spider-Man goes eep. And it did say, if anybody looks at this, you'll go completely insane. Spider-Man's looking everywhere, and then they go through the portal and legit come out looking like somebody that I don't know.
This is where it gets all effed up. Yeah.
Also, this is weird, and it's because of the look. But Cap is in the front, right, and he has a coat on. He has a what's it called, Revolutionary War type coat. But the way it's done, I swear to God, when I first saw, I thought Peter came out playing the drum. I thought it was the classic.
Yeah, the drummer guy. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It looked like it was the classic. Like all of a sudden, you'd have Tony on the pipe. But the way that it was,
looks
drawn,
like his sleeve is a drum.
Yeah, that it looks, and the way that Peter's behind him looks like he's got it on him and he's playing it. I swear to God, I'm like, it threw me. But then I thought, who the hell is with them? This guy who is in the back, and it's the back right. Also, Clea, like half of her face isn't there. She almost looks like her face is disappearing. The art's so bad. But in the background, you're like, who's that balding guy? And then in the next bit, all of a sudden, I'm telling you, Ichabod Crane version of Cap, who looks like a 100-year-old guy without teeth. Then you go down and I'm like, who is that scuzzbag? It's Banner. It does not look like we think it is.
It has to be by process of elimination.
It looks horrible.
What happened to him?
I don't know. That tunnel turned him into the ugliest SOB I've seen in a while. He looks like
such a degenerate.
I said at one point he looked like Adam Driver, but I think Adam Driver's better looking than him.
He's better looking than that.
But he's like, he's got a weird mustache, and he doesn't have his glasses.
Medium slick back hair,
longer
sideburns.
Hair that doesn't work. It's just weird. And Clea says, your clothing has changed as kind of a illusion. He says the clothes you wear are illusory and subject to your wishes. Nothing about their faces. What happened?
I don't know.
Also, just as a perspective thing, just saying, look at Cap's shield when they come through, and it's that really odd look. Also, I guess
how small it is.
Yeah, look at it.
Why does he have that shield?
It's like a 1 inch in diameter. It's not even the shield anymore. It looks like this small little thing.
Like a frisbee or something.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And then look at what I guess is that Banner with him at that point? Because this
might be Peter.
But Peter,
I don't know, dude.
Look at him. First off, where's the flood? and then he doesn't have shoes on.
He's got flood pants on. Or is that the white socks that are tucked into the... I don't know. Those little stick legs.
It's really bad.
That's one step above a stick figure is what that is.
Yeah. What is that, Johnny Appleseed? Look at that guy. Then Clea's... you could go through this and just
Clea's
look at the
chin disappears in one of the panels.
Every panel, things go. Then you do go through a page then where it's Cap, where Cap has a face that's barely drawn. Then he looks like John Cena. Then he looks like he's been beaten up, and his hands are giant.
He looks like what I watch a lot of Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone, and he looks exactly like Sylvester Stallone's hands are so big and gnarly now. It looks exactly like that.
That's what that.
It freaks me out.
Then he looks like John Cena again. But he's chewing tobacco. I don't know what that.
He looks like what's his name, the Broncos quarterback, John Elway. In that bottom
he does
right
look
one.
like John Elway with the horse teeth.
Yeah,
that's what he does look like. Why the long face? That's what you say. And then they're like, hey, all these people died. So they're talking about this battle they have to get involved with. And Cap knows his history. They're going to the Battle of Saratoga. And Cap says, they called that the meat grinder. All right. And then they're like, well, 100,000, whatever. And then Cleo's like, oh, it's going to be worse now. So what we need to do is to warn everybody. Now, just me, I do not know. I couldn't even guess what the founding fathers would think when a guy in a flaming damn mecha suit comes down on them. I don't know. And then also they say, listen, also, Banner, can you make Slow Hulk? Because we need Slow Hulk because he comes out. I don't even know how to explain it.
It looks like the Hulk that is halfway transformed back in like the Immortal Hulk days, I guess.
Yeah.
When it was like mutating, like it just is so disgusting.
Look at his off.
Look at his toes.
His feet are flayed.
Yeah, they're flayed like little fingers.
Yeah, and they're pointing different directions.
And he's skinny. I don't know what's going on with him.
I don't know.
It's bad, man. What is that pose he's in?
He's supposed to be jumping. It looks like he's taking a dump.
He's taking a dump in the middle of the air.
Dump. It looks like legit. I mean, I know but it looks like he's got a diaper on.
Uh-huh.
His feet are all over the place. They're freaky. And he's leaping over what might be mannequins of British soldiers because they look like they either that or also their hands are really odd and they might be setting themselves on fire. I don't know. It's really bad.
And this
is
really the first issue, which is supposed to be the showcase. Get you in. Well, imagine what the second one's going to look like.
We're only going to imagine. So then you go. And then you end up where they're talking about, hey, Horatio Gates, he's the one who's in charge of the American forces.
Don't trust him. He's a real asshole.
They don't trust him. He was a friend of Washington's. Yeah. He did this. Also, in the meantime, too, you do end up getting where you have, I guess it's supposed to be Ben Franklin at the one point, but looks like Dracula. He's being led through town. There's also some British flags at half-mast for some reason. And they're going to end up where, they end up, what's it called? They're going to be killed for treason. But again, you have to have stakes, but I'm not getting these stakes. So you go in. Also, just to point out that Horatio Gates, he becomes John Elway too, and just an older version. And then the whole play is who can we trust of anybody going on? They say Benedict Arnold, and like, what? Oh my God. But at this point, this book is so far off from being good that I don't even give a shit of anything they say, because then the British come in, and I'm like, what the hell is Peter doing? I thought he was hiking a ball. You said legit. Now, it'd be funny if he ended up having a revolutionary deal. He could look like the classic Patriots logo. But in the meantime, I don't know what he's doing with his mouth. I think he ate the bottom half of his mouth.
I see where his eyes are looking.
Yeah.
He's salivating.
He's down there. Exactly. That's the deal. He's like, that's a hell of a pike you have. Also, Cap looks like he's in the middle of pulling his pants up, maybe, but he also looks like he's sitting on Peter. And then these other guys, you have one of the British guys who, I don't know, his face is falling apart. And he might have a smiley face.
That dude looks like he's way too old to be in the military. The guy in the back.
That guy. Yeah.
Don't they have an age limit?
Speaking of which, the guy who Peter's staring at his junk, and really, it does look like, that classic joke thing of where you'll bite your bottom lip when you see it. Like, that's what Peter's doing, and he's looking at the junk. He kind of does look like Simon Pure from
he kind of does
the whole
with the ponytail and everything.
Yep, yeah, it has it all. And then they said, send a runner to General Gates. Tell him we're bringing in 2 more spies. And they're like, oh shit. Peter's like, I don't know. This looks. I like.
How come they're not wearing red coats though? I want to see that.
They're supposed, but that's the problem. Is these are Americans now that I realize, because they want to go to Gates, who was in charge of the deal. So it's
confusing. I don't know.
Even I'm telling you, that's what I'm talking about.
They didn't teach us any of this British crap in college or high school, so we got very one-sided history lessons.
Yeah, but even then, I guess I didn't learn enough. But also,
ask your mom.
That's
your mom
the thing too.
Knows.
Well, no, they didn't learn shit because they lost. So you get this whole play of, if this changes that, but it must be, a dark area or a blocked out area for me, because none of this really hits with me. And then you see the next issue, and then like this issue's cover, you have Cyclops and Sue Storm. Here's the thing. There's got to be a reason why suddenly half the book is done by one guy and the other half. Maybe there was a different story at one point and they changed it. I don't know. This is a wreck.
Well, the cover looks great. I wish that was, I think it's Pete Woods maybe. If he did the art, it'd be great. Woods.
But. Yeah, that's bad. But I'm not real interested in this. It was really bad. And the art was terrible. So what would you give this?
It's like a 1.776.
It's like 7.6. I would love to have it good enough to say it's a 7.6.
No,
just play the game. For me, it's like a 4.
It's bad, dude. Maybe like a 3 for me.
3.
I don't like it. The art's horrendous.
I can go to a 3. You keep going. You won't get to a score low enough for me to say whoa, because it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Just doesn't even. It seemed out of place as well. But we'll go to the next book. We were looking forward to this one when it first came out. It's weird. It's Spider-Man Noir. I don't know. This is one of those, again, that I just, look at it and don't know why and what. But I do like where they have the variant cover, and there's that crazy little guy like running away. I don't know if
that's the Eric Larson cover.
I don't know if that's supposed to be a little kid or a little guy, but
it's like a little guy dressed in a suit.
It's like a little guy with huge hands. Jesus,
he's way smaller than the cartoon.
And also, like, I love the chain on that crazy behemoth guy, but it's way too low. Also, that guy's weird.
That pus head guy's great.
I don't even know what that guy's doing.
He punches him right in that pus head.
Yeah,
right
why would you do that? And it's acid. I don't even know how this works, right? It's just odd. That's not a great
You can't help yourself. You got to punch him right in the...
I do like when you get, review copies and things like that have the variant covers so you can look through them and whatnot, because that third cover...
Yeah, I'm glad they're on here.
Some of these are really cool. But in the meantime, and I'm looking, there's Rod Rice, Eric Larson, Gene White.
They're all cool,
Peralta, so you get written by Eric Larson, Andrea Baccardo the art's pretty good. I like it. Rachel Rosenberg on colors, DC's Joe Sabino on letters. I did see some people were real excited to have Eric Larson writing this book, and I don't know. I still go with the idea that I don't know that he even understands what Spider-Man Noir is. I don't know that he knows what a noir story is, because Spider-Man is quipping out the wazoo. It just doesn't feel like Spider-Man Noir. We had this last issue. So when you go with it, I'm like, okay, I'll get past that. Let's see what is this story? I could barely follow, like, why I even care. You have all of a sudden the Scorpion Gang, which they were, it's the connection to George Stacy, but you never really ease people in again. You're just having a fight. And I was like, what is that? It took me a bit to remember. And then he's just beating the crap out of people. It's a gang war going on.
Yeah,
and then there's a guy with a pus head, a lot of sexy ladies running by. He's yelling stuff. And it just goes on and on and on. And he ends up, saving a couple of people.
He's flipping cars around.
All this stuff. He's talking about his webs. He's yelling about Joe Louis. I mean, this is the thing. Just this one. Here he goes. And this is Spider-Man Noir. He goes, bam, pow, and down they go. It's a 1-2 punch as champion Joe Louis defends his heavyweight title against challengers John Henry Lewis and Tony Galinto. The crowd goes, wow, jubilant. I'm like, what are you doing? This isn't Spider-Man Noir. And it's not really a noir story either.
No, a noir would be a lot of like narration boxes, very little dialogue.
A lot of him at night kind of checking out clues.
And darker, rainier.
It's more behind the scenes. Also, in a noir story, legit, pretty much in my mind, and the things, it's not my favorite genre, but every noir story, the main character has to get the shit kicked out of him constantly. Like, they end up at the worst side of all of it.
He does get punched pretty badly.
He does, but I'm saying, like, even in this, he's just zipping around. He's doing things. Yeah, he gets thrown, but even then, he's, like, lands on top of a building. It's ridiculous.
I still say, I think I said last time, I don't remember him having webs. I don't think that was a part of his...
Yeah, well...
Because basically, he's just Spider-Man now in a different costume.
And he's just talking about his unlimited amount of webbing.
And sometimes he uses guns.
Yeah. Also, I mean, if you're going to make a joke, you make a joke about that tomato off the side of the guy's head.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, look at that thing. That's like the idea with, like, the Cheech and Chong of, like, whatever you do, don't look at that birthmark. And you just stare at it. Of course. He's going around and he's throwing things, but he does eventually go after this guy and then decides out of everything to punch him in the... Why are you punching him in that?
Well, his name is Hardboil, so I think that's...
Yeah.
And what happens to his shoes? He had shoes on and then he doesn't have shoes, that big freak?
Yeah, and that's the joke. I do think, again...
Oh, yeah, Shoeless Joe Jackass.
And again... Does that sound like... It made me laugh a little. It is a funny line, but I'm like, I think he just made this guy have no shoes just to use that.
Because he had him on before.
Yeah, hey, Shoeless Joe Jackass. I'm like,
ready to go another round, Huckleberry Finn?
Yeah, I'm like, what?
And then punches him right in that big boil and explodes.
Yeah, right in that boil. Why would you punch in that boil? It starts to...
That's his superpower, that boil.
It's acid. It ends up eating away his gloves, and it's got to stink.
Oh, my God.
Oh, look at that big guy.
That's the guy's superpower, right? That boil, I guess?
I guess. I don't know. But
what do you call that? Like a goiter? What is that?
I don't know.
It's disgusting.
It's a tumor. That's what it is. It's like
an external tumor.
It's like, what's his name? Quado. Yep. It probably talks to you. He punches him in it for no reason.
Yep.
It's acid. It starts eating away his glove, which distracts him. Again, you could have punched him anywhere. Why punch him there?
I think you have to.
I guess you just think it might hurt. I don't know. It's weird. Like, here's the thing. Tanya would get mad at me, my wife, because anytime the kids would have any sort of, I'd have to pop. I'm like the pimple popper deal, but also like our dog has a cyst. It's like a subcutal cyst or whatever. And I have to really keep myself from trying to squeeze that thing.
Yeah, squeeze it, drain it.
Really, I want to, but I don't. I haven't. Though I did shave around it to really see it. And I'm like, I got to squeeze that thing, but you're not supposed to. So, and we have to watch it to see if it gets bigger. So if I start squeezing it, things go and whatever. It might cause problems. But in the meantime, I'd be like, I wouldn't be able to stop myself from this. So maybe I'd punch it too. But he punches it, and the amount of liquid that comes out is just disgusting. Then he gets distracted, and then he gets pummeled.
He gets punched up onto the roof of the building.
Here's the thing. It can't be from this first punch because this guy is punching. He's punched down.
Yeah.
And he does say lights out. The guy must have then picked him up and punched him again. Why didn't he kill him?
Like I don't know, but I just know that he ends up with these kids, and I love these kids.
Yeah, these kids are funny. I'm telling you, it is the Noir version of the Burger King Kids
They're
Club.
just classic.
I love the idea that they are, in my mind, they are little kids. They are so dumb. They're there, and they're like, "Hey there, Spidey, we got your hat. And also, we found this diamond, and, me and our families are poor as shit.
And he steals it from him.
Yeah,
That's
we're going to give it to you." I thought he was going to be like, "Well, here you go," or something. He like almost feels like he's taking advantage of dumb kids.
Yeah, he's like, "I'll take that." We was going to give it to you anyway.
We was going to give it. I told him that I saw something shining in the docks. And then they're like, "Oh, the Scorpion Gang came back, so it must be important."
But we was gone by then.
Yeah, I do like them because they're cute, naive, and dumb. And at the one point, I'm like, "Were you debating?" Well, how else am I going to describe? Oh, Tubbs are here, but Tubby, were you thinking that was chocolate on his face? Is it dirt or is it a birthmark? Because it's all over the place. At one point, it shifts too.
It's got to be chocolate.
You see him up in the other. He's like Oglethorpe in the Bad News Bears. He's got shit in his hat and stuff. But yeah, he's like, this kid's eating everything. He's eating chocolate.
He's twice as big as the other kids, so he's eating for them too.
Or he's just eating dirt, maybe. Though it's weird because later we're going to be introduced to a guy, and I swear it's this kid's older brother.
I thought it was,
dad,
like
right?
in the future.
They look very alike. But yeah, these kids are all hanging. You got, and legit, you have a black kid, an Asian kid, a red-haired maybe girl, and a fat kid. Is that a girl? Do you think the redhead? So. I'm thinking it might be. Look at. I think
maybe it is.
I don't know.
Hey, you're better off if you're a ginger. You're better off being a girl right?
That is very true. But
so hopefully it's a girl.
With that, also has like each of them have Band-Aids all over the place.
Yeah, they're a wreck. These kids.
Yeah, they are. They're with their stupid overalls, and their hats. Like,
kids used to dress weird back in the day.
I'm expecting that they also deliver papers in the morning, but when you go to the play where they're like, "Hey, we found this. Look what we found. This jewel." The bigger kid, he's humongous. Look at this kid. I mean, seriously, I don't even think those are overalls. I think he just got a muumuu on.
Look at those forearms.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
Right? Also, then he's got even more. Like every panel, I swear, between panels, he's eating because he's got more crap all over himself. But he's there, and there's Spider-Man. He's like, "Hey, thanks for the diamond. That probably could solve all the financial problems that you and your family have, but
of course,
screw that, we're out." Like, that's the other thing. These kids are so good. Like, any kid at this point, I think, is like, "Yeah, we're taking this."
Yeah, they bring it back to their. I guess they probably don't.
I don't know
parents.
how you fence it, but
these are street urchins, right? These kids, they don't have
even
parents,
that.
Right?
I don't know. They seem that like they're dressed well enough that they should. I don't know, but they're hanging. And then Spider-Man's only concerned is his hat. And then he grabs
I guess he gives up on it.
And goes up and he's like, "I'll take that. I told Chucky." Chucky.
I thought he was going to at least give him
At
the
one
hat.
point, they weren't even listening to Chucky either. He was trying to tell him. And yeah, I thought he'd give him something.
Is Chalky the big kid?
I think Chalky might be, because Chalky says, "I told Chucky I seen it." I think Chalky. I don't know. He's going with the Asian kid. Might be. I don't know who's. They go. What do they say? The coppers showed up and caught most of them. You saved everybody. You're the man. Just the big palooka got away, only he wasn't wearing any shoes. Here's your hat, Mr. Spider. I thought they said something. Where did they say Chalky? He does say.
I think Chalky might be the Asian kid.
Maybe, but
I don't know.
But the red-haired, possibly girl, is the one who has the deal. And I'm just saying, I don't think so. But Chalky, that sounds racist to me. I think that these are hateful kids. So you end up, they're hanging. It's the little rascals.
Yeah, basically.
So ridiculous. And then he goes, thanks again. They're like, oh, I thought he was going to at least get us a meal or something. He goes off, then he's going to talk to Gwen. And this is the problem that I think we had in the first issue with this book. It's about Gwen and her dad and him being involved in the Scorpion Gang and whatnot. But boy, it's page 16. Like we did so many other things. And then we get to it and we have quick. Gwen comes and says, hey, did you figure anything out? But he already figured out and realized that Spider-Man, he killed,
Yeah, accidentally. Yeah.
George. It's weird. Self-defense. Later when he talks about it to Mary Jane, who shows up, it seems like it's not as innocent as it was. Because he's like, yeah, he's involved in some bad. It's like he's almost like, I just killed the guy, which still feels weird. But he says, hey, all of a sudden he looks over and he's like, hey, what's up with that painting? Oh, no, another safe. I know how to crack these. And then we go away. We go to the Black Cat Club where you have Peter sitting there, those stupid gloves
I guess he's wearing those because his hand got damaged.
Yes, but it just looks
weird. And he's drinking an egg cream?
Yeah, and and even that you have from, hey, those things aren't made with egg or cream. I'm like, who the hell? What is that? It ends up being a guy, Arnie, who he's like, is that you? Hey, Pete. And I swear to God, I thought it was like Tubby's father, even though now I see his red hair. But he's like, yeah, this is weird. Peter hasn't seen this guy, what seems like since grade school, and says, hey, is it you? Oh, man, I'm a private eye. What do you do? He says, I haven't seen you since 5th grade. Like, this guy walks in.
No way they would let either of these guys in dressed how they're dressed.
He recognizes him right away. And this is like,
it's like a fancy club. But it's there's like a bouncer at the front.
Yeah, there's a band playing. You got which the art's really bad. It looks like there might be a gorilla on the drums. But you end up where that also, when I'm looking, it's the back of a lady's head that looks like an alien. But yeah, this is a fancy club. And this guy just walks in straight off the work line.
Yeah.
But he comes in and it's like, hey, I haven't seen you since 5th grade. What's up? This is so. Now, people got upset about this. And again, people get upset. And I don't love when things are like, hey, wink, wink. We're going to deal with this, but we're really talking about now. And we're doing that. That's not my concern. My concern is a guy just walks in. Peter says, oh, I haven't seen you since 5th grade.
Would you recognize anybody from 5th grade right now?
I'm telling you. If I did, I'd pretend I didn't because I don't want to talk to him.
Well, that's true, too. You're actually an expert at that.
People will come up to me a lot.
I don't know.
I'm not bragging. But people will come and say, oh, my God, you still look exactly the same. And this is a long time. I don't know who's talking to me. I sit there, I'm like, I wish I could say the same. I'm like, oh, my God.
What happened to you?
Yes, and then I'm telling you, it has to be facially, like they have to see, like they'll be like, don't you remember, it's me, Rick. And I was like, oh, Rick? I'm like, really?
You look like you swallowed Rick.
Like I'm saying, like, I think Ricky ate 10 people. Like, what happened? Or they just look decrepit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, man.
Like they've been through the ringer.
It's a rough world we live in. But 5th grade. And then this guy, like, he goes, this is the thing. I'm a private eye, believe it or not. I haven't seen you since 5th grade. You're still dipping girls' pigtails in Indian ink? Because that's the funny thing. I also hate when you see people and you're like, hey, what's going on? It's like, oh, man, remember Mr. Johnson's English class? Because that's all they have. They haven't saw. And I'm like, no, I don't. But that's what they remember.
This guy probably dropped out of school in the 5th grade. That's probably why the last time I saw him.
Dipping girls'
Which is why he's falling for this propaganda, too.
And this weird thing is, like, you see a guy that you haven't seen in maybe 30 years.
Yeah.
The guy then says, hey, I know we used to butt heads in grade school, but guys like us need to stick together. Like, here's the thing, and legit, some people are on Front Street a lot, right? But things like this, you don't just see a guy that you haven't seen in 30 years and then just start yelling. You got to ease in. You got to be like, hey, what do you think about what's going on in Europe right now, huh? And, Peter would be like, I don't know. I think that Hitler's a bad guy. Ooh, I got to get going. Like, this guy's right up.
Right in there.
Right Front Street, right?
There's this guy, Hitler. He's amazing.
And you're playing again in this. This was even in the Straczynski Captain America, which was legit. What they were saying, those rallies, and they had that big rally in Madison Square Garden. Peter went, and they were giving out sandwiches. Remember, we were like, he ain't going to eat that Nazi sandwich.
Yes.
In the meantime, though, it's so forced to have a guy. This guy comes out of nowhere, makes a joke about an egg cream. Peter says, dipping girls' pigtails, and then he goes, who has good ideas? That Hitler. It just is so
crazy.
Forced. So forced.
This guy had to have been stalking Peter or something.
I'm telling you, in my mind, if this is the case, I would be looking around, is this a setup? Are you trying to set me up? Almost like if it was later with the Red Scare. Hey, those Russians, pretty good. And you're like, yeah, maybe. And then people come out of nowhere. All these G-men come and get
never
it.
Never be seen again.
They arrest you and take you away. Like, that's what it feels like. Or this is what it seems like. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while there. Peter, what are you doing? Oh, I'm a private eye, pigtails. Oh, you know what I like? I like the drugs. You got any of them drugs?
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, yeah. Arrest them, boys. And it's a sting. It just feels that hokey. And then the guy pulls out the pro-American rally and says, you should be there. It's going to be great. I don't know about that. And he's like, I will save the date. And he's all shocked, but he wants to see what's going on. Then we go, and I don't like this Mary Jane, but you do get this play. We'll get through this quick then. The idea that Mary Jane's like, hey, what's going on? Keeps going. I think you like this Gwen Stacy. I think you like this Gwen Stacy. We used to have a thing, but you were never home. Oh, my God. What about me? And he's like, hey, you're redhead. But yeah, and I'm telling you, I think they unsexy her up a bit so that you like Gwen Rose. She's not great. Peter looks good, though. Peter looks cool throughout. Yeah. But yeah, even her look changes a lot, and then she looks
they try to give her an older hairstyle, I guess.
She looks like Bjork at one point. And
you don't like the high bangs. That's what it is.
Yeah, maybe it is that. Maybe that's the play. But he's like, and then he's talking about, hey, this, Stacy, her dad was involved in the Scorpion Gang. He goes through the whole thing. She thinks at one point I was waiting, but she never really says to him, I think he was undercover, but he's going with that and says.
Yeah, she like a double agent.
Yeah, he says she was undercover, and that's why it looked bad. But he says when she did, and that happens a lot, the undercover deal, they get a little taste of the shit, and then
of course.
He started rising.
It happens half the time, I think.
And then I kill this ass. And then he's like, oh, well. And she keeps saying, don't, yank her chain. You should tell her that. And she doesn't know you're Spider-Man anyway, so just say it. But he thinks that he's got to ease her in. Oh, you like her. It just goes back and forth. You don't really get much from it except, hey, we used to date, all that. And then Peter's like, I got to get beef great. Like, oh, man, I'm late. And she's like, oh, where are you going? Oh, no, we're just a Nazi rally. And runs out. She's like, oh, crap. And then she actually says, that Hitler has good ideas. But you end up where you go and you see people outside. They're protesting. Then you go into the rally. And this whole thing is forced. Like, why would Spider-Man Noir be here? Just he got that flyer, but now he's going to check it out. And then you end up having a Jewish guy. He storms the stage. Again, I was waiting for what would be pretty much from the, rip from the headlines nowadays where people are like, look, the Jewish guy, like all these things are happening on there. And I hate when I get reminded of things like that. And again, how many books do we have where, maybe do other things than just Nazis all the time? And that seems to be very prevalent now. And yes. I don't think that it feels like the book was leading to anything like this. I know the time frame.
I have a feel. Just my only take on this would be this book probably wouldn't exist if the current situation wasn't going on in America. I think it's probably. I know Eric Larson is definitely.
Again, though, you could
likes
just
to call stuff like that out.
You could just have a noir story.
No, I know, but I think he's pushing this.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. In this, it doesn't feel related. It feels like this is just, by the way, he can't help himself, and he's got to do this. And whether you agree or not, that's not my issue. My issue is just the idea of. And by the way, I don't think that back in World War II era that Nazis were good. So it's just the idea of. Where's this going with this? And you have this, uber giant gas mask. Like,
gas monster.
If I go to this deal and I look on stage and I see this guy with this gas mask, I'm running the other way.
He's on the stage.
Yeah, he's there. Yeah. I'd be like, well, I don't think
the first thing would be we're in a red room.
Yeah,
with all this like I don't bad crazy imagery
I think
around.
They're vampires.
Yeah, like what? Who would want to go to this?
Oh yeah, it's a weird visual, and that guy on stage, and the guy's like 10 foot tall. I'm out. I'd be like, okay. Again, maybe there are people like, I don't know what's going on. I hear they're
handing out sandwiches.
I hear they're having a buffet. You know what? I might just go for that, right? So I'd run. This guy with this gas, and then he starts Stretch Armstrong, and I'm like, I'm out. Yeah. And
Peter's like, that's
Spider-Man
new.
Noir. Yeah, that's new, he says.
Yeah, because I guess it's just a gaseous creature underneath.
And then he just starts shooting gas out of his hand. And then I'm like, okay, well, I guess he is a gaseous guy. Like, you think the gas mask is to do, but it's to
like
contain
the opposite,
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Spider-Man zips or zaps his webs
him up.
He webs his hand. But I don't think that does anything. And then he ends up, but then the gas seems to go in, but I thought he was, but then he seems to be dying.
I think it just escapes and then he can go somewhere else.
Yeah. But is the gas him? Because then if it is, but
I think the gas is him.
But then he's shooting him at Peter earlier. So I don't know. Maybe that was sexy.
Well, it's the sexy.
And Peter gets the hell out. But then he does collapse. And I was like, because you shouldn't have had him shoot the gas earlier like that, because then it makes it feel like he's just expelling the gas he was shooting before. But it's him.
Yeah. I think he's just Gas Man. I don't know.
He is Gas Man. Nazi Gas Man.
Right.
And then Peter just leaves. But I guess the rally was over. And he gets out and then goes back to his office. We don't get Ghost Girl again. I wanted more of that to see if we were right. He talks about his rent and stuff like that, but no Ghost Girl and landlady. And you go back and Gwen looks very, nice and cute. And he goes back and she ends up basically showing that she's pretty easy.
She came there to bang, right? That's what she was doing.
She's like, she says, I have a big house and I need something bigger. She says, I have a big house. It feels weird. I just can't sleep in that big empty apartment all alone. Like,
Pete's like, okay.
He's like, really? That's what we're going with? Because I'll go with it. She's like, okay, stay with me, Peter. Please stay with me. Don't give me this bullshit next issue where he wakes up and he's on the couch, because she's not coming over to say, I can't sleep in this big apartment alone, to just have a guy sleep in the other room. But he goes, I'll get my toothbrush. And she's like, you're going to need it. He's so disgusting. Oh, she's like, after what we're going to do? Yeah, I bring that toothbrush. So get that going.
He looks like Han Solo a little bit.
He does.
Pete does.
He looks like a combo of Han Solo and a young Indiana Jones.
Yeah, there you
would
go.
Make sense. Same guy. So you end up where he says, I'll get my toothbrush, and so I did. It's a weird way to end it. And then I get mad because I see Joe Kelly in his thinking pose on the other page. But I don't know. It's such a weird book. It's such a weird book that I don't know what we're doing here. Like, it really feels like, well, first off, legit, Peter solved the case. The case is solved. However long this goes.
Well, it's just whether he was undercover or not.
It's weird. I don't even think he's really looking into that much anymore.
Doesn't even matter. He's dead.
He just doesn't want to tell Gwen that Spider-Man killed her father, or that her father was bad. So you think that he's trying to prove the innocence of George Stacy, but he says straight up to Mary Jane, he's guilty. Like, he was bad and he died. He just doesn't want to tell her. And we don't know. I guess they broke into that safe, right? Never showed us what they found.
He said he could break in there.
He said, I can break into it. And that other one was packed to the gills. So I wonder what we'll find here. Never saw it.
Was there another one last issue, maybe?
Yeah, well, they opened up a big safe last issue. It was their main safe, and he had a bunch of things. But that's the problem in this. And I think that connected him in and was more evidence of, him hiding stuff with the Scorpion Gang. And I would have liked if Gwen's like, I can't read, so I don't know what that means. But I don't know. I don't know what they found. You're hoping at one point that you're going to find something to prove that. But then again, here's the thing. Would you like it if George Stacy was innocent? Because then Peter killed an innocent man. It seems weird at that death thing, too. But
yeah,
it's just weird. And then it just feels like that's the backbone to then in this one go to that rally, or the kids on the top of the roof. It doesn't feel like much of a coherent story in my mind, and this doesn't feel like, you said it last issue, this shouldn't be Spider-Man Noir. It should just be Spider-Man back in time. It should just be a Spider-Man in the 40s. And that's fine. You just have an Elseworld type thing, but yeah, it's weird. It is weird. What would you give it?
I'd give this one a 6.5, I think.
Yeah, I'll just give it a 5.5. I'm a point lower.
I like the art a lot.
The art's pretty
crisp and clean compared to what we just saw.
It's really good. Those last couple of pages are really, really good. The kids look great.
Yeah.
I didn't like Mary Jane's look.
I think I like the colors and both of them. Yeah, Rachel Rosenberg does a good job.
Yeah. So I like some of these. And then I'm even paging through to look at the next page. It says next Spider-Man Noir on sale in December. I don't know what's going on. Like, do you see this?
That's like an electric guy or something? It
also looks like you can see his brain. Like it's like Glob.
Glob, yeah.
But what? What are you doing in this book? What is this book? Like, I don't know.
It's solving that mystery, but also fighting random...
It's all over the place.
Right, random goons.
Yeah. And again, like, Mary Jane's, like, just tell her. Like, it's solved. He's dead and Spider-Man killed him. But he doesn't want to say it. But, yeah, it's just weird. It's just a weird book, but yeah, we'll see. I have to see what it is. We'll probably still go through it. It's not...
Depends on what comes out, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, that's it for this week. And like I said earlier, Gray is done. So it'll just be me and you. Maybe some other people will join in. I don't know. We'll have to see. But with all that, we had the 2 books. This an hour. That's, the typical deal. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining me, Matt. As always, I hope that people read a bunch of other things. Red Hulk finishes up this week. It was okay. Wasn't the best ending. It was decent enough. And then one of the books that we would have normally talked maybe, but I think we missed an issue. But it's the Spider-Man Wolverine. The Kerry Andrews art is really, really good. He's back on.
Is he back on?
On and off. Yeah, he's back on.
Yeah,
and it looks great. There's some panels in that just look great. But the story's weird. So it gets even weirder. They're in some... I'll tell you.
I'll check it out.
It's very odd. But thanks, everybody, and we'll talk to you later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.